Hi everyone, I'm Graham, welcome to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you a few tips to make sure you get past that virtual interview to become a flight attendant. I was recently hired by a major US airline and I applied to a couple of different majors and I got to the virtual interview process and the face-to-face process. So I'm going to tell you some tips to get you through that virtual interview onto the face-to-face part of the hiring process and give you some general information as to how that's going to go. If you have any questions about this process that you would like for me to talk about in another video, please leave them in the comments down below, and please like this video and subscribe to the channel, guys. It really does help a small creator like myself to make more content. Thank you all so much, and let's jump into the video. So first things first, if you hear a lot of background noise, my neighbor decided it was a great time to cut grass when it's the middle of the day, almost 100 degrees outside, but let's just work past it and talk about this virtual interview. If you make it past the sort of application stage of becoming a flight attendant, you're probably going to be sent an invitation to do a virtual interview. Some airlines are going to do this virtual interview one-on-one, where it's just you and a recruiter on a video call, and some are going to do it where it's a group of maybe 20 or 30 people on a video call with a couple of recruiters. Regardless of what the format of your virtual interview is, this is your chance to showcase yourself. You need to go into your interview feeling good. Guys, the reality is thousands, tens of thousands of people apply to each one of the major US airlines every year. Being a flight attendant is an extremely coveted job, and they saw something in your application and your assessment that told them that you could be a good fit for this job. You are one of a pretty small number of people that has made it to this stage, so you should feel really proud of yourself and you should feel really good. This is a huge accomplishment. That being said, you need to approach the whole virtual interview process knowing that you are capable of doing this. You need to be confident and feeling like you are truly a flight attendant. The virtual interview is your first and possibly only chance to showcase to your airline what kind of person you are, what makes you special. Like I said a second ago, these airlines are literally getting tens of thousands of applications every year, and if you don't make yourself stand out in this stage, it's probably going to be the end of the application for you. So here are some big tips to get you through the virtual interview. Number one, and I know everyone says this, but it's so important, dress well. Dress for the virtual interview as if it's an actual interview. Ladies, maybe wear a dress, a neck scarf I think always looks super classy, a red lip or some sort of, colorful lip, a little bit of makeup, pull your hair back, make yourself look very, I don't want to say attractive because you're already attractive and beautiful, but just make yourself look a bit professional. Gentlemen, I suggest at very least a button-up shirt with a tie, or a button-up shirt and a sports coat and a tie, or a button-up shirt and a coat, something that's going to show that you mean business and you are serious about this. If you show up to that virtual interview in a t-shirt or, not looking very put together, your hair's not fixed, your makeup's not done, what does that say about how you're gonna show up to the actual job? Are you gonna show up in front of passengers looking ruffled and frayed, or are you gonna show up looking good, being a good representation of the company and their values? The second tip I have is a good angle and good lighting. Just for reference, I'm gonna show you guys on my phone what angle you're at right now, and I'm gonna try to put in this footage. This is the angle that I'm looking at right now on this video. I'm gonna try to do a split screen so you can see it. My face is here, so you can see I'm obviously looking up at the camera. And please don't make fun of my setup. I know it's not professional. But for the virtual interview, your angle does not need to be this, nor does it need to be this, or this. It needs to be sort of how we are right now, professional, put together, good spot. My next tip is to make sure you have a backup. So for one of my virtual interviews, I was gonna load it onto my computer. I was there about 10 minutes early in the group chat. We were in the waiting room and it would not load. My audio would not load, nor would my video upload. I was freaking out. I was absolutely panicking because this is my one chance and I did not want it to end badly. So thankfully I had my phone right beside me. I propped my phone up, had it at a good angle, plugged it in, had good lighting, and I had a backup that I could do it on my phone. But make sure that you have some sort of backup that you can use just in case things don't work out with whatever device you're using. That leads into my next tip, which is be prepared and show up early. I've heard so many flight attendants say since getting into this process, early is on time and on time is late in the aviation industry. So please do not be that person that joins the group chat absolutely at the minute that it starts, or God forbid, a couple of minutes afterwards. Be there at least 10 minutes early, sitting in the waiting room. Maybe they never check, maybe they don't know, but maybe they do, and it says something good about your work ethic and how you show up prepared. Just a little extra tip that I suggest you do is whatever device you're gonna do your interview on, record yourself speaking for 30 seconds, a minute, and see how it looks. Make sure the angle's good, make sure the lighting's good, the audio's good, everything's perfect. Just, sort of give it a test run before you jump into the actual video interview. And the next tip I have is to do your homework on the company. In the next section of the video, I'm gonna talk about specifically how to get through the interview, how you should answer questions and such, but make sure that you go into this interview knowing about the company. You need to know who runs the company, what their mission statement is, what their purpose is, where do they fly to, what sort of routes do they like to serve? Are they, a low-cost carrier, or are they a legacy carrier like Delta, United, American? Obviously, you don't need to be an expert on the company, but you at least need to know some general information about the company. You're pretty likely to get some sort of question like, why do you want to work for our company? Why do you want to fly with our airline? And your answer should not be, oh, I love to travel. No, that's not your answer. That's not your answer. Find something about that airline that you love. Find something that you absolutely adore, that you can get on board with, and stick with that. For example, let's say that I'm interviewing with, Skyways Airlines, and they say, okay, Graham, why do you want to work for Skyways? My answer might be, well, I want to work for Skyways because they are uniquely dedicated to their passengers, and they serve routes that connect people from all over the world. It's simple. It's sweet. You don't have to go into a ton of details. You don't have to start listing facts about the company. Just know something that's special about them, something that's unique. Okay, in this part of the video, I'm gonna be telling you how to answer these interview questions because they want you to answer them in a specific way. They want a certain format when they ask you the question. If you don't use this format, there's a good chance that they're gonna say bye. So the format they're looking for is called the S.T.A.R format. This is not just an aviation thing. This is, I think, a way to tell stories and to answer interview questions from pretty much every professional facet. But S.T.A.R stands for situation, task, action, and result. And it's just a way that you're gonna tell a story or answer a question. Okay, in this section of the video, I'm gonna be telling you some tips to get you through the actual interview, not to prepare for it, to get you through the actual thing. And I promise you guys, if you follow these tips, you will have a very, very, very high chance of moving on to the face-to-face interview. So pay attention. Number one, as soon as that camera turns on and as soon as you're in the call, you need to have a big, fat smile on your face. And that smile is not leaving your face until after you have pressed the end button. Guys, the biggest thing that I saw among the people in the video interview that I later met in the face-to-face, the biggest sort of common factor was that all of us were smiling. Okay, don't be creepy, don't be weird and have like a too big of a grin on your face the whole time. But you need to have a good customer service smile on when you're answering questions, when you're listening to questions, and just generally talking. Guys, you have one chance to make a good impression on these people. Please, 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 please do not go into this virtual interview with a frown on your face or looking like you don't want to be there, okay? Look happy, your eyebrows are gonna be up, you're smiling, be happy. Even when you are not talking, when you are listening to other people, if it's a group interview or if you're listening to the recruiter, smile, okay? Be an active listener. Pay attention to what they're saying because a recruiter might ask you to follow up on it and you don't want to be the guy that's sitting there like this the whole time. I remember in one of my virtual interviews, in the group virtual interview, there was a gentleman who pretty clearly did not want to be there. And he answered his question really, really well. It was very thorough, it was very honest, but the whole time other people were talking, he was literally playing on his phone. This is what it looked like. No, guys. No, I did not see him at the face-to-face interview. Even though his answers were great, I don't think he made it because he looked totally uninterested. So the whole time you're in that virtual interview, you're gonna be interested in what other people are saying. If they're saying they love candy, oh my gosh, you love candy too. It's the best thing ever. You're gonna be happy, you're gonna be excited, you're thrilled to be there, and your face is gonna show it. The last tip I have, and possibly one of the most important to get through this virtual interview, is to use the STAR method. Now, I'm not gonna go into too much detail about the STAR method because there are probably thousands of other videos on YouTube that could explain it much better than I can. But essentially the STAR method is just a professional way to answer questions that you'll see all throughout the corporate and professional world. STAR is an acronym that stands for situation, task, action, and result. It's just a way to tell stories and to answer questions. In the STAR method, you're going to explain the situation in which something is happening, the task that you have to resolve, the action that you took, and the result that came from it. That's it. It's really simple at its core. When these recruiters ask you a question like, tell us about a time that you had to deal with a difficult customer, they don't want to hear this rambly long story about so-and-so who knows so-and-so who dealt with this and that. They want to hear you explain the situation in a STAR method. Try to incorporate this method and don't ramble, don't talk too much, don't say things that you're not asked, okay? All right, guys, these are my tips. Let me know what you think. If you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments. Thank you so much if you made it this far, and please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Best of luck to you in your journey, and I'll see you next time. Muchas gracias y hasta luego. Ciao.